Welcome to another episode of Prioritize. They accomplish while you drown in lists. It's difficult to juggle your responsibilities. Husband, father, brother. It goes on, but your energy doesn't.
You pondering what I'm pondering?
Prioritize what's right for you, not what's left behind. This is Prioritize with Toby Baker.
You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
Goodness gracious almighty. It's been way too long getting back to this. Welcome to the show, Prioritize. Here we prioritize faith, family, relationships, and more. I'm your crazy white, formerly fat host, the Baker Boy himself. I'm so glad you're here. You stuck with us, or maybe you just stumbled upon us for the very first time. And if that's the case, I'm very, very sorry. I'm an addiction that you try to get rid of, but you can't. It's like I keep coming back for more. I'm that disease. You think you got the right pill, right? You took the truth pill. You thought you woke up. No, you're having a nightmare. That's why I'm in your ear right now. I'm very sorry about that.
We're both very sorry. Very sorry about this.
Right. We're both very sorry about that. But here we are. You accidentally hit play, and I'm glad that you did. We're trying to work on a new season. I'm not doing very well at this. I don't know. Maybe you've been in this kind of situation before where you embark on the journey. You have these plans, right? You're going to be recording every single week, or you're going to be off on this journey, and you have it planned out. You know where you're going to go. And then boom, life happens, throws all your plans way off the rail. You're way off track. And you like look up like, wait a minute, what just happened? I was having hot cocoa next to this cozy warm fire. Boom, I wake up. It's been like 4 months since the last podcast we dropped. Whose fault is that? That's mine.
Okay, that's yours. I let you have that one.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to take all the blame.
You're welcome.
So here we are. I had several other plans. I have so many more podcasts to record. I'm sorry about this. We have a Columbus, Mississippi podcast. I got to get you the information. You're not going to believe what happens on this thing. Have you ever been to Mississippi? If you're listening in Mississippi, hey, thanks for listening. I really appreciate it.
No, you don't.
No, really. I'm glad you're listening.
You hate Mississippi.
But the truth is, I hate Mississippi. I was there. I went down every week for 3 weeks straight. I don't understand where you people eat. Honestly, I was in the city of Columbus, which is like, I don't know, 20 minutes away from the other. If you go the other direction, it's like north or whatever is the east you're on the west side. I have to look at the map to be sure, but I don't, and you probably don't even care. You're just like, Tobe, get on with what are you trying to say?
Exactly. What you tried to say.
I'm in Columbus, Mississippi. We tried to find a place to eat. We tried to find a place to stay. I'm on this airport project for 3. It's got a great ending to the story, though. Hopefully I can get that project podcast out to you. This quarter would be nice. I'm sure you're waiting with bated breath as if you had nothing else better to do.
What else they got to do?
You're right. What else are you going to do? I don't know. But hey, it has been far too long. Thanks for hanging out and waiting for this one. Thanks for hanging out with us. I really appreciate it. I don't know about the other guys.
What do you say? I don't appreciate things.
No. I'm sure you do.
Of course I do.
Of course you do.
That's what I say.
I know. That's what you said. So there's more podcasts coming your way. Hang with me. My wife and I, we're headed to Cancun in a few days. So I'm trying to get this one out. It's a business trip. We've done so much prep on this. It's almost like, can it just get here already? My wife is telling me she wants to take the rest of the week. Like, she's done with the rest of the week. Her mind is already in Mexico. Her body just needs to catch up. And can I share this just with you? She has such a lovely body. She does. It's really nice.
That wasn't needed.
You're right. It was totally uncalled for. My apologies. But it's true. It really is very true. Anyway, we've been planning for this. We weren't sure if we were headed over to Cancun, and we start watching the videos on the YouTubers. We watched video after video after video, and I thought, okay, are we making this trip out there? Eventually we got to it. I lost track I've lost track of how many videos we've watched. Several. And here's the thing. It's not always easy trying to find a good travel agent. It's not, because we started out with one. I sent this travel agency a message. Took 3 weeks. 3 weeks to get a response. Are you kidding me? I can't deal. 3 weeks to get a response? What if I was in an emergency? What if I was trying to go to Mexico? What if I was trying to do that? And I'm like, hey, we need some help. We've never been over to Mexico. Need a little help here.
You need more than that. I told you that right now.
This is true. So we're watching the videos and I reached out to, so she finally got back with me, and I thought, okay, we'll give it a try, and it didn't go anywhere. And I think all right, maybe I'm expecting too much. My wife is telling me you have to reduce your expectations for others and other people. Okay, fair enough. I get that. I just thought that if you are trying to gain business or improve your Google review rating, or just trying to, like multiply your customers, wouldn't you want to provide good customer service? Am I alone on this?
Of course, you're alone on that.
Right, so that's fine. I could deal. So in a lot of these YouTube videos, some of them are travel agents themselves. So I thought, I'll just reach out to one of these guys. But it was on a Sunday, and my expectations, I tried to place them very, very low. I said, they're probably not going to get back with me until like Friday of this week, right? Lo and behold, this person got back to me that very day. It was on a Sunday, y'all. Like, who's in their office on a Sunday or paying attention to their phone on a Sunday? This person was doing it. That's who was doing it. This person was doing it. I was very grateful. We had a conversation. So we found our travel agency. It was Travel Lingos. If you're interested, they're doing a good job so far. We're headed over there. We got our transportation lined up. We followed as many of the guidelines that we could, trying to be. So we're excited. Right? We're excited on this. But here's the thing that I was actually trying to get to you today was, have you been to an airport recently? Have you braved what it's like to be inside an airport recently? And I'm not talking about the craziness about TSA and the wait lines and the government, waiting for the government to get their rear end into gear. First or second gear would be helpful, I think, for so many people. I believe finally they got that part figured out, and they placed their votes, so they got the TSA back in action. Praise God for that, because these people were working without paycheck. How long can you work without a paycheck? I don't know. Most of America, they go without a paycheck. By paycheck number 2, they're out of luck, and they're looking for other places to work. So you either got to be well prepared for these kinds of situations, or boom, you're somewhere else. So I'm talking about the people at an airport. When's the last time you were at one? I mean, when you're walking around and you're, man, what an interesting place to be at an airport. I fly quite a bit for work and several projects around the globe, and I'll get there early. I try to get there early because I don't want to, deal with the added stress of if I miss a flight or if I am like barely on time. Man, you are running. You don't want to be the guy running through an airport in a suit. You don't want to be that dude, right? So I get there a couple hours early, and then you get through the line. I think the longest I've waited is maybe 30 to 45 minutes. That is at the regular TSA. There was a time, and I think I shared this in a previous podcast. It was on our anniversary trip. We took over to Jamaica, and because of the airline, not because of what we did, but because of the airline, we wound up missing our flight. And this was a bummer for me, but I'm not going to relive that. That is on a previous podcast. You're welcome to look through on the Apple and the Spotify's and all the things. Look for the one on Jamaica. It's a 4-part series. This time we're going over to Mexico. But, prior to that, and I'll have a whole lineup for you, I promise, on the Cancun podcast series. have you been to an airport recently, man? Just kind of walked around and looked at the various people and the various places. I'll get there and I'll put my earbuds in. I'll start getting my steps in, right? Like I'm there. I got my backpack or my messenger bag. Normally I try to check my suitcase, just get that out of the way. So, trying to free up my hands a little bit, travel light. That's what I try to do. I put my buds in. I got an airport playlist, and I just start walking around. I mean, looking at the people, and you realize that not everyone at the airport is having their best day. You've probably noticed this, right? And there's an airport bingo card you can snag. I don't know how many there are out there. There's got to be hundreds of them. But you got the guy running at an airport, and maybe it's not even his fault, right? Because the plane he was on got delayed, so he lands and he is gunning it. I mean, I remember a couple trips back, I had landed and we were pressed right up against time. Like my next flight, my connecting flight is boarding while I am trying to get off this plane. And people, they're not always generous on the plane. They just want to get off. They don't care if your plane is boarding. They don't care if they're putting you out. Some people, they don't care. They're just all about themselves. I'm guessing that is nobody in this audience, and I'm so glad that's not you, because most of my audience is very generous. They're generous with their time, with their finances, resources. They try to be helpful. They try to be the light. God praise you. Let me rephrase that. Praise God for people like you. That's what I was trying to say. Because we need more people like you out there being the light. Absolutely. But not everyone at the airport is having their best day. And sometimes they're late. It's not their fault. I was getting off the plane and I walked up to the lady. I said, hey, and this was one of the flight attendants, like at the gate. And sometimes they will help escort you. And I thought that's what she was there to do. Boy, was I wrong. I get there and I said, hey, my flight is boarding like right now. Her deadpan response was, well, you best get moving now because they're not going to hold that gate for you. Okay, thanks for the help. And I'm off like lightning as fast as I can go. I mean, I'm not the soccer player I once was. Plus in soccer, you're not, well, I don't know, maybe you are playing with messenger bags on your back nowadays because it's 2026. But back when I played soccer.
Oh, let me guess. You guys played by candlelight?
No, but I did move a lot faster than I do today. Man, when you go to an airport, not everyone's having their best day. Some of them are there, they got their support animal of some kind. Most of the time, it's a dog. Sometimes it's a horse, depending on the airline. You see groups of hockey players. They're headed off to the next match. Sometimes there's cheerleaders. They're off to their next cheerleading competition. Sometimes it's a basketball team off to their championship, right? You see little kids. It's their first time there. It's like their first time going to the movies. So their eyes are so full of wonder. They're looking around slowly, just trying to soak it all up, trying to, they're holding on to mom and dad's hand, and they're just taking it all in because there's so many different kinds of people at the airport. You got the young couple arguing about what they forgot. You got the older couple, and the wife is just holding on to the arm of her husband, and they're making their way through the crowds, and he's got a mission, right? And she's just trusting him, trusting that he's going to get them there on time. Maybe it's the husband maneuvering through lines with the briefcase in hand, and he's off to his next presentation. Or there's a young lady in the corner booth on her laptop sifting through the numbers in Google Sheets and trying to get as much work done as possible in this time. There's some people on their phones trying to fill the empty time with games or puzzles. Some people are just nervous about the flight. They've seen too many movies, they've heard too many stories, or they've followed along with too many consumer reports. Maybe you see that guy who's in the airport more often than he is at home. He's just trying to get through the week so he can get back to his family. What's most often difficult for me to do is to think about other people when I'm at the airport. Sometimes I can get very selfish. I don't mean to be, I don't try to be, just happens natural, right? Because I be some human folk. And the baker boy himself likes him some baker boy himself, man. Sometimes I'm not considering other people. I'm not thinking about other things. Like, I'm on a mission too, right? I'm there. I got to get the car parked. I've got to get to a certain gate by a certain time. I want to get through the TSA line, so I'm automatically thinking, okay, the shoes got to come off, the socks got to come off, the belt, the maybe not the tie, but the jacket, the sweatshirt, the watch, the phone, the laptop, the iPad. Everything goes into separate bins, or some airports, everything goes into one bin. They shove it through this big machine, and AI plus the super radiant super X-ray machine, plus the guy sitting behind the screen, all three combined, and they're able to look through the stuff and the things and get through all that. So I get on the other side and I put myself, it's like you get dressed 2 or 3 times when you go through an airport. You know what I'm saying? You get dressed that morning, then you got to get dressed after you get through the airport, and then you get on the plane, you're like, I don't need my sweatshirt, I don't need my belt on, we got my Thanksgiving pants on, so, and then you're getting off the plane, like, okay, I got to throw all this back on, and then you go on about your day, but the airport's a very interesting, a lot of stress at the airport. Have you noticed, some people are under a lot of stress. They might shake it off like it's just another, weekday, just another Tuesday. It's fine. Can you imagine the amount of stress that the pilots are under? They got to take off perfectly. They got to land perfectly. They got to make sure that all the passengers are copacetic. They got the flight attendants trying to make sure that the passengers are copacetic. It's a pressurized cabin for real. Because in 2026, what doesn't set people off today? Have you noticed this? Like, people are addicted to rage. There are folks out there, they are looking for reasons to be pissed off. And if you're one of them, God save you. They might not have a gun at the airport, but they are ready to blow up at anybody. They're ready to tell you off because you stepped in line, or you stepped out of line, or you stepped too close, or you're too far away, or how dare you say something or do something, or how dare you look at them the way that you did? How dare you sit in their aisle or take their napkin or steal their fork? What's wrong with you? Why can't you keep your kid under control? And how dare you bring a dog into here? Or how dare you sit here? You're too old. You're too young. You're too this. You're too white. Yeah, it's not everyone at the airport is having their best day. And sometimes I'm not thinking about that. Sometimes I'm not thinking about the young mother with her 3 kids, and she's just trying to make it from point A to point B without losing her mind and keeping all of her kids together. And she's concerned about them getting lost or them getting stolen and trafficked. Oh my gosh. Did I ever tell you about the time I lost our middle son? Maybe this is the wrong time to get into it because it's almost an entirely different podcast. It really is. But we were at the beach. It was my response. Maybe the details go in later, but it was my responsibility to watch Chris, and my wife had the other 2, and she was down at the beach, and it was such a beautiful day. Oh my gosh. The waves sounded so peaceful. And they're crashing against the shore, and it was the sun was just hot on my brow, and it was warm out, and we had this cooler filled with ice cold IBC root beer. Like, we had iced it down the day before. I drained the water. We iced it down again. We walked down to the beach, and cracked open one of those and threw it back. And then I'm like, oh, I'll take a nice breather, you know. And Joyce asked me, she says, hey, watch after Chris. Sure, no problem. I close my eyes. 2 seconds later, my wife is standing right there. Where's Chris? I said, what do you mean? He's right here. Nope. I failed. I was like, I had one job. I failed as a dad. My son had disappeared. And jeez. Like, what do you do? Like, you're a parent, right? You ever get, of course you get concerned about this. What has happened? What has happened to my son? We're having this conversation. It unfolds, and it's like slow motion. It's fast motion. It's real time. I was beside myself. I've heard people say, oh, I was just beside myself with anger. I wasn't angry. I was angry at myself, if anything. I was beside, like, how do I let this happen? I could just see myself pointing at me. You are a careless individual. How careless do you got to be as a dad? There's a cop and his wife right beside us. He's gone through this more times than he would care to admit. And he's like, hey, we've been through this. Let's take a walk. He could see I was falling apart. I was losing it. I was falling apart. I think Joyce held it together more than I did. She went in one direction. I went the other. I'm barefoot. I got battery acid running through my veins. I got a dozen different thoughts, none of them good, going through my head. What if he drowned? What if he was kidnapped in traffic? What if I'm taken off? At this time, I was with Youth for Christ. It was a nonprofit faith-based organization. I was basically a youth pastor, para-youth pastor, and I was ready to take off the white collar and go fist it, like put a guy in the ground if he touched my son in the wrong way. Like if he put a finger on my son, if he beat up my son, if he took my son. Yeah, so that movie Ransom with Mel Gibson, yeah, you kind of feel that rage just a little bit. Like, you took my kid? What's the matter with you? Do you not know I will go psychotic on you if you put a finger or even think about doing something to my family? I've seen too many movies, buddy. Somebody going to work on you with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch in 2026, that is child's play, my friend. Pulp Fiction is yesteryear. You're dealing with you have no clue who you're dealing with. These are the thoughts that ran through my head. I lost my son. Oh, an hour goes by. We are walking through the sand, the beach, the hotel, the sidewalk. There's construction site all over the place. Construction is happening everywhere we look. And I'm thinking, what if he fell into construction and it's my fault because it was my responsibility. I couldn't handle that. It's like I had one job. Watch after my kid. We're walking back to the site where we were on the beach, and there's my wife with our two sons, and there's Christopher, and I fell to the ground. To this day, man, it just that brings that brings tears to my eyes. I will never get over that. And that's why I travel with a katana blade and a machete. You just don't know what kind of situation you're going to wind up in, right? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to go into a dark place. I just know... I know the concern that you have when you're there and you're kind of scared and there's predators out there. There's nefarious people with methods of ill repute. They do not have faith-based interest in mind. They're not Bible-believing Christ followers. They are the enemy. And they are selfish people. Well, yeah. So the mother there with the 3 kids trying to keep everything together. She's just trying to get from point A to B. That person's there at the airport. What about the overworked, underpaid person struggling through the airport, worried about their next paycheck, whether they'll be able to pay their bills or pay their bills on time or pay all of their bills? It might be they're trying to pay part of their bill and it's going to be late and they're going to have the fees, but at least with this project, they're going to be able to pay part of that bill and put a few morsels of food on the table if they can just get through the airport. Because they weren't able to drive, it was too far away, and this is, the way that they're trying to get down there. I'm not thinking about the guy at the airport who just got off the phone with the doc, who just told him that the cancer is back and it's back with a vengeance. I'm not thinking about the person at the airport who was at the airport because he's headed home for a funeral to bury his mom or his pops or to bury a relative or a friend. All these kinds of people you see at the airport. You see excited people who can't wait to get to Florida to start their vacation. You see folks downtrodden with worry about the economy or gas prices and their bank account, or in some cases, the lack thereof, right? I've been there. That's not fun. Some are on their way to start their new lives together as a newly married couple. And still some who are just done with life and all the complexities that are in it. And they're just ready. They're ready to be done with life. They're so done. They're tired of the complaining. They're tired of the angry mobs. They're tired of the bickering inside the country and the constant stress about their job and the anxiety about what's going to happen or what has happened. And they're told, you must feel this way about this thing, otherwise you're not a part of our tribe, or you're not a real person, or you don't care if you don't do this and stand up for against that and go protest against that, and you must hate people. Such fatigue going on in the world. And then you go to a enclosed place crowded with people and anxiety and fear like an airport. Yeah. I admit, sometimes I miss my calling and I forget about the fact that not everything is about me. Not everything is about the baker boy himself. Most of the time I got to set my stuff aside and say, wait a minute, I was called to be the light in a dark world. I was called to shine by the grace of Jesus to other people and point others back towards Jesus. Why? Because that's what I'm put on earth to do. I'm in so many different situations that I don't understand. Then I ask God, what do I do here? You know what he said? He said, be the light. Be the light. Do you understand? I'm in the dark. I'm in the basement. I'm looking for the up button on this elevator. I can't find it. God says, be the light. My wife is going through problems and stress, and how do I help her? And God says, be the light. You're at an airport, and you're looking at people who don't have a smile to save their life. And like, how do I help? God says, be the light. Maybe I offer them my place in line. Maybe I offer to pay for their, $10 cheeseburger meal at McDonald's. Maybe I switch places with them so that they can get one step closer through the TSA. Maybe I help them with their luggage. Maybe I just say good morning with a smile. No agenda, just to help. Here to help. What if we tried this? All right. And this is the challenge that I offer to people. Maybe you're not even at the airport. Maybe you're just on the job site or in a factory or in an office. And you got the same kind of people with very similar worry about their bank accounts, about their president, or about their vote, or about their leadership, about the economy, about the gas prices at the pump, about their home, about their spouse, their children, their friends, their neighbors, their relatives, that report that's bound to be coming from the doctor, and they just don't know how to respond. What can we do for those people? Here's something we could do for those people. We could pray. I can look at that person and I can offer a prayer to my Father in heaven and say, God, I pray for this person. I don't know what they're going through. God, you know what they're going through. I don't know what they're going through. Golly, that woman seems awfully stressed out. I just pray a special peace over that person today. That newlywed couple looks like they are off to a fantastic life. Lord, bless them today. This elderly couple walking down the moving sidewalk, Father, just be with them. Give them extra strength today to get to the location where they're headed. If I can offer these people a hand, show me how. God, I pray for security over that guy over there. I don't know what he's going through, but he looks a little worried. God, I lift up a special prayer for these flight attendants and the captain and the pilots and the co-pilots and the people in this airplane. They are under some stress that we can't possibly fathom because they're trying to keep people calm in an enclosed tube 25, 30,000 feet above ground under an immense amount of pressure that if they fail their job, they're looking at imminent doom, bank account gone, lawsuits pending, job gone. So we can lift up a prayer and toss it God's direction and just ask for a special blessing over that person, that guy over there who's just on his way to trying to catch the next plane. And it looks like he's behind a few steps. Looks like he's running late. God, I hope he makes the plane okay. Give him a few extra minutes to calm down, catch an extra breath. God, I pray for that woman over there. Looks like she's going through it. Those kids don't seem to mind her at all. God, I pray for that couple there. They're not smiling. Backs are turned toward one another and they're on their phones. There's no connection, Lord. May there be a special connection today. Or give me the words to say to that guy. Maybe I could be of encouragement. Are any of these things easy to do?
No, absolutely not.
You're correct. Absolutely not. But you know what you can do? You can do easy, just lean back and hope that somebody else takes care of it. Or maybe you're there for a specific reason. Maybe God placed you in that moment, at that time, at that place for such a time as this, where you can lift up that person in prayer, where you can offer some encouragement to that young lady or that young man, or you can pray for that captain and his pilots and the crew that's going aboard because they got 200 passengers inside of a tin can that's going to be pressurized for the next 4 hours. That's a tough position to be in. You want to be in that position? Yeah, I get very wrapped up in my own schedule and my own agenda, just like many other people. I don't have to be. It's a choice. And I forget sometime that, oh, hey, there's other people here in this airport. So I encourage you today to encourage other people, to share your smile with them. Because you know what? I need it sometimes. I don't always have this jolly demeanor that I go about. I need a smile sometimes. I wind up in the basement and I need help finding the up button. So if you're that person helping me out, thank you. If you're that person helping other people out finding that up button when they're in the basement, God bless you for it. One final thing here. One final thing. I got a little it got a little deep today, so let's end on this. We were in my wife's Jeep a few days ago, I think, earlier this week, and it just seems like so many days have passed. Sometimes I get a song in my head, I'm hooked. I am hooked, and I gotta listen and I'm like a child, really.
No kidding.
No, really. I'm like a child when it comes to music. If I hear a good song, I'm like, I want to hear that song again and again and again. So this song comes on my wife's Pandora playlist from 21 Pilots. That was the playlist, but the song is not from them. The song is from a group called Dirty Heads. Don't ask me anything about it. I don't know anything about them. I really don't. I heard this song. I thought this is fantastic because this describes the how do I want to say this? This describes so much of where I think so many people long to be especially today in 2026. And I'm thinking, do I want to see the music video? Sometimes you don't want to see it. Sometimes the music video completely destroys what you had in your head as the visual. Well, what I had in my, maybe you could care less about music videos. Like I don't even think about music videos when I listen to music, Toby. So I don't care. I'm just trying to hear the song and go about my day and let bygones be bygones. And that's perfectly fine. But for me, I thought I'm very curious to see the director's take on this song. So reluctantly, I pressed play. I went to YouTube and I found the song called Vacation from the group called Dirty. And I'll just kind of roll this out. Oh man. If you remember the time of Saved by the Bell and the principal in Saved by the Bell, I'm pretty sure it's him. I haven't looked. I should look it up, but I think that's the guy. It is. You'll thank me, and that's fine. You could thank me. You could thank both of us.
Don't thank me. I'm not a part of this crap.
Fine. You could just thank me. But I listened to this song almost nonstop all the way home. And then I pressed play. I was rolling on the floor. My wife was rolling. Our kids, they're in their 20s. It was fantastic. I just got to say, it was such a good ride. I just listen to the song. It's so good. So anyway, that's it for today, folks. Thanks so much for listening. We got more coming up, but just remember to, hey, prioritize that prayer for the airport today, because tomorrow is promised to no one.
Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, 'cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life, then you should go and change it. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, 'cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, every single day.